Hello, welcome to today's yoga practice. As the title indicates, it's all about building strength, powering up through the upper body, specifically shoulders and arms. So just before we begin, I'd just like to review stabilizing your wrists by using your fingertips when you're planting your hands on the mat. You want to press the fingertips down just slightly to take the pressure off the heel of the hands and really connect at the base of the index finger on the inside corner of the palm. So I'll cue that a few times, and hopefully your wrists, because when we're working on the arms and shoulders, we need to spend some time on the wrists and hands. So always modify where you need to, stay safe, do what feels right in your body. Let's get started. Sitting tall, sitting comfortably. Hands resting on your thighs, palms up, palms down, it doesn't matter which. Go ahead and close your eyes. Bring your awareness to your breath. Just notice how wonderful it is to let go of the outside world and focus completely on you. Get a sense of how you're feeling physically. If there's any messages that you're getting from your body, just take note of them. Reserve judgment. It's just your body telling you to be mindful during your yoga practice today. Nothing more than that. Now begin to engage the lower belly with your breath. Really connect to your breath. Your thoughts are with your breath, and you feel the restorative quality of your breath as your body responds to each inhale and exhale. Your next breath in, sweep your arms up, bringing your hands together overhead. As you exhale, let your hands float down, palm pressing to palm. Another breath. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Hands coming together. And as you exhale, hands floating down, palm pressing to palm. Now pause here with hands in front of heart center. With your next breath in, draw your shoulders up towards your ears. And as you exhale, roll them back and slide them down. Feel your sternum lifting towards your hands. Let your shoulders feel heavy. You might even feel a little bit of a stretch here across the collarbones and into the heart, the center of the sternum. Keep the shoulders heavy. Keep the shoulders open. So we want to stay open through the shoulders and collarbones today, even though we're building strength here. And release the hands. Open your eyes and come into table pose on your hands and knees. So wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Uncurl the toes, let the tops of your feet rest on the mat. Bring your eyes to the top edge of your mat so you feel really long from your tailbone to the crown of your head. Now soften through the shoulders. Feel your arm bones pushing your shoulder blades up towards the ceiling, sliding in towards your spine. Let's do a few rounds of cat-cow, moving with each breath. Take a breath in. Lift your eyes, look forward. Scoop the tailbone upwards. Really lengthen through the front of the body. As you exhale, round through the back. Pull your belly button towards your spine. Chin tucks towards your chest. Another breath in. Lifting the eyes, look forward. Tailbone tilts up. Exhale, rounding through the back. Spreading the shoulders wide. Chin towards chest, belly button towards the spine. 2 more breaths. Move with your own breath. Think about opening through the front of the body as you come into cow pose. And as you exhale, stretching, broadening through the back of the body. In cat pose. One more time. And then exhaling, really deepening the stretch with each repetition. Come back to a neutral table position, eyes at the top edge of the mat. Bring your knees wide, big toes together into touch, and sink back, hips to heels. Come down onto your forearms and elbows. Get the sensation once again that your shoulders are pushing up towards the ceiling and your shoulder blades are sliding in towards your spine. Relax your neck, let your head feel heavy. Hips heavy, head heavy. Really stretch through the back of the neck here. Couple of breaths. Now reach your hands towards the top of the mat. Spread your fingers, connect with the fingertips on the mat. Feel the four corners of both palms connected to the mat, then release your grip. But keep the hands completely grounded, completely connected to your mat. As you exhale, really sink in now. Feel the long stretch from your fingertips to your hips on both sides. If your forehead doesn't come down to the mat, you can go ahead and reach for your rolled up blanket, place it under your forehead, or use your yoga block. You can even anchor your elbows in place, folding your arms and using your upper arms or your hands to support your forehead, so long as you maintain the stretch on the sides of the body. Return to table pose. Once again, wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips, uncurling the toes, letting the tops of your feet rest on the mat. Now engage through the fingertips here. Really press the fingertips down. Feel the connection at the base of the index finger and the mat. That's really important. We want to familiarize yourself with that sensation of the full palms planted, connected, supported by the earth below. Now inhale, lift the eyes, look forward, scoop the tailbone upwards, really long through the front of the body. As you exhale, round through the back, tuck your chin towards your chest. Now keep that rounding through the spine as you press back towards your heels. Come down onto your elbows and forearms, keep the palms connected to the mat, and then scoop through. Bring your nose as close as you can to the mat, and when your nose is right between your thumbs, push up. Oh yes, already we're starting to build some strength through the shoulders and arms. Inhale, lift the eyes, look forward, create some sway in the spine. Exhale, round through the back, chin to chest, belly button pulls in. Shift back, hips press back to heels. Feel that unique stretch in the lower back. Elbows come down to the mat, forearms feel supported, scoop through, bringing your nose as close as you can to the mat, and then push up. Inhale, swaying through the spine. Exhale, rounding through the back, pushing back, hips to heels, coming down onto your forearms and elbows, and scooping through. Begin your breath in here. So you're at a full maximum inhalation when you're in cow pose. Then exhaling, rounding through the back, holding the cat shape in the spine as you sink back, hips to heels. Forearms and elbows. Inhaling as you push through and lift up. Last time. Rounding through the back with the exhalation. Sinking back, hips to heels. Elbows coming down, scooping through. Really collapse through the back of the body as you press up. Neutral table pose. Toes curl under. Lift your knees away from the mat. Push back to downward dog. Just for a single breath. Walk your feet towards your hands. Take as many steps as you need to get there. Keep the knees bent. Let your belly and rib cage rest on your thighs. And just inhale, lift the eyes up forward. Come high on your fingertips, and as you exhale, fold over your thighs. Do that for 2 more breaths. Just take your time with your breath. Giving your hands and wrists a bit of a rest. Feeling the stretch in the back of the body as your chin curls towards your chest. Now lift your eyes, look towards the top of the mat. Come as high as you can on your fingertips, but keep your knees soft. Sweep your arms straight out to the sides. Wrists in line with your shoulders. Kind of feel like an airplane here. Now pull your shoulder blades in towards your spine. Feel your weight resting in your heels. Reach with your fingertips. Stay long through the upper body. Ears floating in line with your shoulders. Pause here. Really push into the feet. Take a breath. Reach with the hands. Now inhale, push up. Bring yourself up. Shoulders over top of hips. Let your palms turn forwards as the shoulders and eyes lift all the way up, looking straight ahead now. Now keep the thumbs pointing up and bring your hands together overhead. Just letting your thumbs touch. Don't worry if you miss. That's normal. Now lengthen through the arms as much as possible. As you exhale, soften through the shoulders. Let your shoulder blades slide down towards your back, towards your hips, pardon me. Now draw the belly in. Feel the support through the midsection. Take a breath. Keep the thumbs together. Just the tips of the thumbs. Enough energy in the hands so the fingers are spread wide. Now as you take your breath, reach the arms straight out side to side once again. Wrists in line with the shoulders. Keep the shoulders heavy so it feels like your shoulder blades are sliding down towards your spine. Pause. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. And as you exhale, bend your knees, bow forward. Take a breath in, lift your eyes, look over the top edge of the mat. And as you exhale, just lengthen through the back of the legs, lifting your hips up towards the ceiling, intensifying the stretch in the back of the knees, back of the legs. Not to the point of pain, of course. But you're in control of the intensity by how much you lift your hips and open up the back of the knees. Now with your next exhalation, bend your knees. Inhale, lift your eyes, look over the top edge of your mat, come high on your fingertips. As you exhale, bow. Again, inhaling, lift your eyes. Feel your ribcage pull away slightly, and exhale, bow. One more time. As you inhale, lifting up. Now exhale, deepen the bend in your knees. Really plant your hands now. Good connection between the fingertips, the palms, the base of the index finger. Step back to downward dog. All right, so here we are in downward dog. Let's take a couple of breaths right here. Really solidify the hands pressing into the mat. Fingertips, four corners of the palms, the edge of your thumb. Wrists really stabilized. Now broaden through the shoulders. Use your arm bones to push your shoulders back so you stay broad through the front of the body. Heels sinking towards the floor. A little bit of a stretch there in the back of the legs. Now inhale, come forward into plank. Modification here, drop your knees down. Coming into a half plank position. Now stay tall through the upper body. So belly button, rib cage draw in. Take a breath. And as you exhale, just lower yourself down. Bending the elbows towards the rib cage. Shifting the shoulders forward. Coming down onto the mat. Uncurl your toes, let the tops of your feet rest on the floor. Now push into the mat with the tops of the feet and spread your toes. Sink your hips down into the mat. Really push the front of your hips, your hip bones down. Feel heavy there. Now doing a little baby cobra here, just a few breaths. So first thing, we're going to roll the shoulders back and slide them down towards the hips. You can already begin to feel your sternum pulling away from the mat. Hands firmly planted under your shoulders. Now, as you inhale, just lift your eyes up forward and just pull the sternum off the mat slightly. And as you exhale, lower down. Keep the hips heavy. Again, inhale, lift up. Use your hands for support. Stay open through the collarbones. Exhale, lower down. 2 more breaths. Move with your own breath. And as the spine loosens, you might find that you can lift a little bit better, a little bit more, a little more freely. It's not about how high you go. It's about the fact that you're just doing it. That's what matters. Now pause. Get a sense that your ears are in line with your shoulders. Curl your toes under. Now push your knees into the mat. Feel your hips lift away. Use your hands to push down. Draw your belly button, rib cage in. They pull away from the mat too. Take a breath. And as you exhale, really pull the belly button in, push the hands down, lift up. Doing one little half push-up. Take another breath. And as you exhale, knees pull off the mat. Another breath. As you exhale, swing the hips back, downward dog. Now adjust the placement of your feet. My feet are always too far back for it to go straight to downward dog from a plank pose. I always have to adjust the position of my feet. Remember, every body is different. Lift your heels, bend your knees, walk your feet towards your hands. High on your fingertips, take all the pressure off the palms of the hands, knees bent. Take a breath in, lift the eyes up forward, and as you exhale, fold. Relax your neck, let your head dangle. Take another breath in, and as you exhale, push into the mat with your feet, lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Keep your fingertips connected to the mat so there's support under the hands, but lengthen again through the back of the legs. Beautiful. Now bend your knees. Bring your eyes, look straight down at your hands. Step your right foot back. Now push back onto your right heel. Left knee is bent. Bring your hands up onto your left thigh and just push yourself up. Use the support of your hands on your thigh. Get a sense that your upper body is in line with your right leg, right heel. So the goal here is to get a long straight line between the crown of your head and your right heel. Push down with the right heel. Really lengthen the back of the right leg as much as possible. Now left heel pushes down, pulls back. Get the legs really strong here. So you can take the strain a little bit out of the upper body. Now inhale, just sweep the arms straight out side to side like you did before. Wrists in line with the shoulders. You should be able to see your hands just kind of out of your peripheral vision. Now turn your palms backwards. Keep the fronts of the shoulders open. So when the palms turn back, there's a habit to roll in through the shoulders. So let's turn the palms forwards once again. Thumbs pointing up towards the ceiling. Now keeping the shoulders broad, keeping the upper back broad, awareness with your shoulders. Now rotate the arms, roll the palms back, but keep the shoulders in place. Now sweep your hands behind you, bringing your thumbs together to touch. Now you've got a little bit of a bend in the elbows here. So spread your fingers so you've got enough energy in your hands. Pull the backs of your hands away from your lower back. Keep your eyes on the top edge of your mat. And now reach your hands down towards your right heel. Oh, yeah, we can feel the arms working now. Breathe. If your thumbs don't touch, don't worry. Just keep on working at bringing the thumbs towards each other while at the same time reaching down. Fingertips reaching down towards your right heel. Oh boy. One more breath. And release the hands. Oh my goodness, turn the palms forward, bring your gaze straight ahead. Bring the palms up together, bring your gaze upwards. Thumbs pointing behind you, fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling. Same thing here. Reach your fingers up towards the ceiling. Lengthen through the arms as much as possible. Keep the shoulders broad. Keep your shoulder blades pulling in towards your spine. As you inhale, separate your hands. As you exhale, sweep down. Bring your hands all the way down to the mat. Hop your right foot farther back so you're in the lunge position. Right hand comes to the mat under your right shoulder. Left hand to the top of your left knee. Now, if you feel unsteady, you can go ahead and bring your right knee down to the mat. Or you can keep your right knee floating off the mat. Keep the right heel reaching so the right leg feels long, the front of the right hip feels long. Using your fingertips on your right hand to press into the mat, engage to the inside corner of the palm, right at the base of the index finger. Take a breath. And as you exhale, turn. Use your left hand on your left knee to rotate through the rib cage and shoulders, turning to look to the left. Breathe. Anytime you can drop your right knee down. We're going to take 2 more breaths here. Take a breath in. As you exhale, release the twist, bringing your left hand down to the mat. Hop your right foot forward. You can do it in one step or several steps. It doesn't matter. Bending your knees, pausing. Take a breath in, lift your eyes, look over at the top of your mat. And as you exhale, fold. Again, as you inhale, lift your eyes, look over the top of the mat. And as you exhale, fold. Inhale, and look straight down between your hands. Step back with your left foot. Push all the way onto your left heel. Right knee is bent. Bring your hands up onto your right thigh one at a time. Press yourself up. Push down with the left heel. Find the alignment in your body where you feel like you're creating one long diagonal line from the crown of your head to your left heel. So you're leaning forward slightly, which means you have to engage the core just a little bit, not too much. All right, left heel pushes down. You can feel the length in the back of the left leg. Right heel pushes down, pulls back. Now your arms are free. Now sweep the arms straight out side to side. Thumbs pointing up towards the ceiling. Just be mindful here that you don't curve through the lower back. Try to maintain that long diagonal line. Thumbs are pointing up towards the ceiling. Shoulders are heavy. Front of the shoulders really broad, really open. Now pause here just for a moment. Adjust your awareness to your shoulders. Keeping the shoulders in place, rotate the palms, turning them backwards. Keeping the shoulders in place. Take a breath. Keep the arms really long, fingers reaching side to side. Keep your gaze just slightly beyond the top edge of your mat. And slowly bring your thumbs together towards each other behind the lower back. Just grazing your fingertips together or thumbs together, nothing more than that. A little softness in the elbows to feel the tips of the thumbs touch. Yes, the tips of your thumbs need to touch this time. Take a breath. And as you exhale, pull your hands away from your lower back and reach down towards your left heel. Keep the arms active here. Keep the fingertips reaching. You can feel the burn in the upper arms. Breathe the whole time. Reach the fingers back. Keep reaching. Now keep the arms strong. Don't give up. Bring the arms out to the side, turning the palms forward once again. Take a breath right here. Now inhale, sweep up. Bring the hands together overhead, and then eyes upwards. Shoulders heavy, arms long. Minimize the bend in the elbows. Keep the legs working. Remember that right heel is pushing down and pulling back. Left leg kind of takes care of itself. Be careful not to let the left knee collapse. Keep it long, keep it strong. Breathe. Keep reaching with the fingertips. As you inhale, release the hands. And as you exhale, sweep down. Ooh. Hop your left foot back. A little farther back so you're high on the ball of your left big toe. Left hand is under your shoulder, fingers connected to the mat, four corners of the palm connected to the mat. Right hand comes to the top of your knee. So if you feel unsteady, you can go ahead and drop your left knee down. At any time, you can bring the left knee down. Completely optional. Or you can keep the left knee floating so long as the back of the left knee stays long. Now take a breath. And as you exhale, push into your right knee with your right hand. Rotate through the rib cage and shoulder as you turn to look to the right. Breathe. Focus on steadying your breath, and your body will follow. One more breath in. As you exhale, release the twist, bringing your eyes straight ahead. Right hand comes down to the mat. Now, if your left knee is down on the mat, that's fine. I want you to bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot. Wiggle your right foot out and then swing back. So you're either in full plank, or if your knee was down, you're in half plank. You can always lift up once again. So we're going to take 4 breaths here in full plank pose. Use the fingertips. Really connect to the mat with your hands and your fingers. Keep the shoulders broad. Breathe. Whew. And take one more breath. Now bring your knees down to the mat if they aren't already. Pause. Look beyond the top edge of your mat. Now here we go. We're going to come down really slowly. So spin your arms forward so the crease of your elbow is turned towards the top of your mat. Take a breath. And as you exhale, belly button rib cage draws in and slowly come down to 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way down. Uncurl your toes. Let the tops of your feet rest on the mat. Adjust the placement of your hands if you feel like they're not quite right. We're going to get ready to lift off here. Now spread your toes. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. As soon as you press the tops of your feet into the mat, you can feel the fronts of your thighs kind of spring into action. Now roll your shoulders up towards your ears and then pull them back. Feel your sternum beginning to lift off the mat. Remember, the tops of your feet are still pushing down. Hips are heavy. Take a breath. And as you exhale, push into the mat, coming up as high as you can, but keeping the hips heavy. Now, engage through the tops of the feet. Remember, spreading the toes wide. Take another breath and lift off. Push into the mat, coming into a full upward dog position. Taking a breath. Whew. One more. And then slowly coming down. Whoop. All the way down. Bring your hands forward. Hands, just spread your hands wide, but release the grip on the floor, on the mat. Depending on where you are on your mat, your hands might be on the floor. I'm going to slide my hands forward. Now spread your toes. Really engage the feet here. Sink the hips down into the mat. Ears in line with your shoulders. Now lift off through the feet. Try not to bend the knees, but create some heaviness through the hips as you push your pubic bone down into the mat so your feet float off the mat. Not far, just an inch or so. Just so your feet are no longer connected. Now stay heavy through the hips here. Now bend your elbows to 90 degrees and then float your hands off the mat. Pull your shoulder blades in towards your spine. Now inhale, reach forward. And as you exhale, bend at the elbows. Pull your elbows all the way into your rib cage. Really squeeze the upper arms in. Reach forward slowly with control. And as you exhale, pull in. Squeeze. 2 more times. Reaching forward and pulling back. 1 more time. And pulling back. Now lift the eyes, look forward. Look beyond the top edge of your mat. Keep your eyes there. Reach forward. Whew. Stay floating. And then hands come down. Feet come down. Oh, stack hand on top of hand. Rest your forehead on your hands. Take a breather here. We're almost finished with the intense part of class today. Whew. All right, here we go. Lift your forehead away from your hands. Get a sense that your ears are in line with your shoulders. Reach your hands out to the sides, just so you've got a little bit of support there. In my blanket. Okay. Spread your toes. As soon as your toes spread, you can feel your legs supported by your muscles. Now float your feet off the mat. Sink into your pubic bone, sink into your hips, really heavy there. Bring your hands to your sides. Let the backs of your hands rest on the floor for now, so there's a little bit of support there. Now bring your gaze beyond the top edge of your mat or towards the top edge of your mat. Keep the ears in line with the shoulders. So you're trying not to really crank through the back of the neck here. Get a sense that your ears are still in line with your shoulders. Draw your shoulders up towards your ears. Now pull them back and slide them down. Feel your hands beginning to pull away from the mat. Yep, your feet are still floating off the floor. Now lift your hands completely away from the mat. Bring your thumbs towards each other until they touch. Reach your hands toward your toes, towards your heels, coming into a full locust pose. Keep your fingertips reaching towards your heels. Keep breathing. What? That's crazy. Keep the arms as long as you can, hands floating away from your lower back. One more breath, you can do it. Oh my gosh, my arms are shaking like crazy, the tremor of truth. As you exhale, let go of the hands. Oh, place your hands, feet come down. Oh, hand on top of hand. Rest your forehead on your hands. Whoo-wee. Okay, one little standing sequence left to go. Breathe. Lift your head. Place your hands under your shoulders. Curl your toes under. Push your knees into the mat. Feel the hips begin to lift away. Connect fingertips, palms, supported by the floor. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, push up. Half plank. Take another breath in. As you exhale, option, full plank. Another breath. As you exhale, downward dog. Adjust the placement of your feet if you need to. Really stretch through the lower back here. One more breath. Lift your heels, bend your knees, walk your feet towards your hands. Knees bent, rib cage, belly resting on your thighs. As you inhale, lift your eyes up forward. As you exhale, fold over your thighs. Another breath in. The eyes look forward. As you exhale, rounding through the back, folding over your thighs. One more time. In. And a breath out. Exhale, push your hips up towards the ceiling. Stretch out the back of the legs. Support under your fingertips. And just bring your feet, heel toe your feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. So shoulder width apart instead of hip distance apart. A little bend in the back of your knees. Grab hold of your elbows here and just a little bit of a sway from side to side. Really relax the arms. Let the arms feel really heavy. They've had a good workout. Take the pressure off the hands, the fingertips, and just move in a way that feels good to you. And then bring your hands to the mat. Bend your knees enough. You can really connect the palms, the fingertips. Step back to downward dog. 2 breaths here in downward dog. Stay strong through the arms. And then bring your knees all the way down to the mat. And take whatever version of child's pose you choose. Wide knees, big toes together, head to the mat, hands supporting your forehead, arms outstretched, whatever you choose. The key here is a rest and a reprieve, a little restoration before we finish the floor portion of the class today. Press up. Swing your legs round to the top of the mat. Sitting tall. Placing your hands at your hips. Use the hands pressing down to really lift tall through the upper body. Now spread your toes and anchor the backs of your legs and your heels to the mat. Now inhale, sweep the arms up. Stay really long and tall through the upper body. As you exhale, bend your elbows to 90 degrees. Really pull back through the elbows, lift through the heart here. Anchor the heels. Dig in. Anchor the backs of the legs. Breathe. Now inhale, reach the hands up just slightly. So they're no longer at 90 degrees, but there's still a bend in the elbows. Now, even though your eyes are straight ahead, think about pulling your hands behind your elbows. So the elbows push forward slightly, fingertips reaching slightly behind you. Pull the belly button and the rib cage in. Minimize the curve in the lower back here. Use the strength that you have in the core to hold you steady. Oh. Now inhale, reach straight up. And as you exhale, hinge forward, take the strain out of the core, fingertips coming to the floor in front. Look right between your feet at your big toes. Take a breath. And as you exhale, fold. Keep the toes spread wide so you're resting on the back of your heels, not the sides of your heels, not the outer edges. So strong legs, you can feel your heels pushing into the mat. Now press up. Bring your hands a little behind you. Fingers turn towards your hips. All right, you're going to bend your knees. Place your feet flat on the floor. Kind of shoulder width apart, a little wider than hip distance apart. Push into your hands, really lock through the arms, lock through the elbows. Now pull the fronts of the shoulders back, stay really open. Take a breath, and as you exhale, push into the floor with your hands. Feel your hips begin to lift, and knees swing over top of your ankles. Now pull the hips up even higher as you bring your gaze straight up towards the ceiling. Lift the heart straight up towards the ceiling. Use your fingertips to help you stay steady and take the pressure off the heel of the hands. Just think about floating your hips off the mat, nothing more than that. Really use your hands to push down and connect. Feel the earth push back. Breathe. Now exhale, slowly bring yourself back down. Stretch your legs straight out. Turn your hands back. So high on your fingertips here, little bend in the elbows. Anchor the backs of your heels, backs of your legs down. Roll the fronts of the shoulders back. Feel your elbows soften just a little bit more. Now keep the backs of the legs anchored to the mat this time. Bring your gaze up to the corner where the wall meets the ceiling. Now use your hands, use your fingertips to soften through the elbows, leaning back just slightly until you feel an intensity in the shoulders. Remember, you're in control of the level of intensity here, the level of stretch. So just at that moment where you begin to feel the stretch, that's where you pause. Keep the fingertips strong. Now lift through the heart. Lift the heart straight up towards the ceiling. Really open up through the collarbones. Give the shoulders a good stretch. Breathe. Resting on the backs of your heels, legs are heavy, using the weight of the lower body to help lift through the heart and stretch the front of the shoulders. Relax your jaw. Now exhale, just bring your gaze ahead. Soften the shoulders, soften the elbows. Hands to your knees, your shins, still tall, still long through the upper body. Take a breath. And as you exhale, hinging forward. Use the support of your hands. Take another breath. Feel your belly, rib cage press into your thighs. And as you exhale, pull your belly and rib cage away from your thighs and sink into that space. The space left behind from your breath. Adjust the position of your hands. I want you to feel comfortable. I want you to feel steady. Now let's deepen the stretch in the back of the body. Take a breath. And as you exhale, drop your chin towards your chest, slowly broadening through the shoulders. Slowly stretching the back of the neck. Then press up. Walk your hands towards you. As you come all the way up, bend your knees, feet flat on the floor. Now lie all the way back. You can use your hands just on the back of your knees for support, or you can just roll all the way down. You can do a Pilates roll, one vertebrae at a time, all the way down. Just let your shoulders feel really heavy. Oh, that's easy to do. Arms really heavy. Walk your feet towards you. Get a sense that your ankles are underneath your knees. Arms at your sides. Let the backs of your hips feel really heavy. Just feel that comforting pressure on the sacrum. Feels amazing. All right, here we go. We're going to bend the elbows to 90 degrees. Fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling. Just enough energy in the hands that your fingers are spread wide. No floppy hands here. Now take a moment, roll your shoulder blades underneath you, one at a time. I'm already beginning to feel the back of my heart, the spot right between my shoulder blades, pulling away from the mat. I can feel the lift there. Feel the openness across the collarbones in the front of the body. Now, using the backs of my arms from elbow to shoulder, push into the mat, deepen the curve in your spine, from between your shoulders all the way to your tailbone. So you feel that pulling away from the mat already. Tuck your chin slightly. Lift your chin slightly. Get a sense that your ears are pointing down towards the mat. Relax the jaw. Really soften through the throat. Now push. Push with the backs of the arms. Push with the soles of the feet. Feel your hips get lighter. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, lift the hips up towards the ceiling just by pushing the heels into the mat using the backs of the arms. Lift your hips as high as you can. Now push with your elbows. Push down with the elbows and think about lifting your heart up. Keeping the back of the neck long. Now, a good test here to make sure you're not straining too much is that you can say your name and your voice sounds exactly the same as it normally does. Breathe. No tightness in the throat. There should be no change in your voice. Sing a happy tune. Lifting up, feeling really open through the front of the body. The long stretch in the fronts of the thighs. Take one more breath here. With your next exhalation, just slowly bring yourself down. I like to lift my heels and then roll through the lower back. Really, oh yeah, that feels good. Roll through the lower back. So my tailbone is the very last thing. Sacrum, tailbone, and then heels. Oh, so good. Bring your knees in towards your chest. And a good squeeze. And just gently rock yourself from side to side. And do some circles with your knees. Massage out the lower back. Hold on to your right knee and stretch your left leg all the way out. Let your left heel land on the mat and then push your left heel. Just reach your left foot away and hug your right knee in. Even bringing your right thigh wide of your rib cage to deepen the stretch there. And as you exhale, just soften both legs. And then slide your left foot up towards your hip once again. Reach for your left knee. Both knees pulling in towards your chest. Rock yourself from side to side. A little bit of massage. Hold on to your left knee and stretch your right leg out long. Let your right heel rest on the floor. Then flex your foot. Push the sole of your foot to the wall away from you. Really reach and lengthen through the back of the right leg, and then hug the left thigh in. As you exhale, just let both legs go really heavy and limp. And slide your right heel towards your hip. Reach for your right leg, both knees pulling in towards your chest. Now place your hands to the backs of your thighs, backs of your knees. Spread your toes. Take a breath. And as you exhale, just pull your thighs away from you. Bring your hands with you. Now keep the back of the head heavy and use your thighs to push your hands farther away until you feel a stretch across the top of the shoulders and into the back of the neck. So the shoulder blades here begin to pull away from the mat, but you get a really good stretch into the back of the neck and into the shoulders. Not an easy place to stretch. Just let your legs feel really heavy. You don't have to push. Use the weight of your legs to facilitate the stretch. And then pull in. One more breath. Bring your feet to the floor. Stretch your legs out. Arms to your sides. Take a moment here to tuck your shoulder blades underneath you so the backs of your hands rest on the floor. Bringing your hands a little farther away from your hips so the front of your body feels really open. And as you relax your feet and your toes, just feel the weight roll into the outside edges of your heels. Backs of the calves are heavy. Legs, thighs, completely letting go. Use your next breath out to really soften through the back of the hips, the lower back. Feel the weight on your sacrum. And as you exhale, just feel that spot at the base of your spine that's slightly disconnected from the mat. And really release there and sink in. Hands are heavy, fingers completely limp. Backs of the arms. Fronts of the shoulders wide open. Shoulder blades completely connected to the mat. Back of the rib cage really broad. The tension is completely gone from the back of the neck. Softness through the throat and jaw. Breath flowing. Feeling healthy. Feeling strong. Feeling completely renewed after just a few breaths. Really breathe deeply into the belly. Not just with the inhale, but with the exhale too. Take a couple more breaths right here, just because it feels so good to lie here in Shavasana. Slowly bring your awareness back. Start with one really big deep breath into the belly and all the way out. Out to your fingertips, your toes, crown of your head. Bring little movements to your fingers and your toes. Hands, feet, arms, and legs. Take a moment here to stretch if you like. Gently rock your head from side to side, feeling yourself slowly returning to the world beyond your yoga mat. Take one more breath here. And gently roll onto your right side. Use your right arm to support your head and neck. As you inhale, slowly press up. Sit tall. Hands together in front of the heart. Eyes softly closed. Taking a moment to be grateful. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be loved. May all beings be at peace. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.